Hello again, friends. It's Mr. Matt here with the second part of our Sunday school lesson, the activity video. And this week, we're going to use a little bit of music to talk about King David. Now, that might be hard because we don't actually have any of King David's music. We just have the words. As you might remember from the lesson, we have those words recorded in the book of Psalms. But for today, I want to focus on just one psalm. Now, you may remember from one of our earlier lessons this month that King David, when he was a young boy, was a shepherd. And he was responsible for taking care of his father's flocks and guiding the sheep to where there was good grass to eat and taking them to safe places for them to drink water and protecting them from some of the dangers that might threaten the sheep. And young King David, with all of his musical talent, started to think of some words that compared being a shepherd and the responsibilities that the shepherd has to the sheep, and then comparing that to God and saying that God is like a great shepherd to all of his people who are his sheep. And so he wrote down words in this poem and compares God as, or has the words that portray God as a great shepherd to his people. And I'd like to read the 23rd Psalm to you so that you can hear it and you can hear some of the ways that David does that in this psalm. Here we go. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures and leads me beside still waters. He revives my soul and guides me along right pathways for his name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You spread a table before me in the presence of those who trouble me. You have anointed my head with oil, and my cup is running over. Surely your goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Okay, that's it. That's the 23rd Psalm. But you can hear in the 23rd Psalm at the very beginning how David compares himself to being a sheep that's being led by God. That God is taking him to the places that he needs to go so that he can have the things that he needs, so that God can watch over and protect him, and that even when David feels scared or lost or afraid, he knows that God is with him. So those are the words to the 23rd Psalm. But there's also another way that we can encounter the Psalms. They're not always just read. Several of the Psalms have been set to music. And there is sometimes when we hear something in a song, it moves us differently than when we just hear the words being read. And so for this activity, hopefully you have someone with you who has a laptop or a phone or a computer, and you can go to YouTube and look up the psalm that's here, and it's Kids Worship Psalm 23. But in case you're not in one of those places right now, I'm just going to play a little bit of it so you can hear it. So here we go.
shepherd, I lack nothing. He takes me to lush pastures. He leads me to refreshing water. He restores my strength. He leads me down the right paths for the sake of his reputation. Even when I must walk through the darkest valley, I fear no danger, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff reassure me. You prepare a feast before me in plain sight of my enemies. You refresh my head with oil. My cup is completely full. Surely your goodness and faithfulness will pursue me all my days, and I will live in the Lord's house for the rest of my life. The Lord is my shepherd. There's nothing that I need. He takes me to green pastures where I can drink and lead. He gives me strength. He leads my way. I am his child each and every day. And when I walk through the darkest valley, no, I won't be afraid. I won't fear. Your rod and your staff will keep me safe and let me know that you're near. Know that you are always near.
All right. That's pretty catchy, huh? And it's a little bit different when we hear it set to music like that. It connects with us differently. You may be able to hear, apparently my iPad wants to keep playing. So you may be able to hear and connect with the psalm differently when you hear it to music. And we know that music speaks to us in lots of different ways. Just imagine when you were learning the alphabet. You probably learned the alphabet song to learn how the alphabet goes together. Music helps us learn and it helps us to connect. So maybe if you spend a little bit more time and you watch that video again, the words of the 23rd Psalm might stick with you a little bit better. Or if that really wasn't your kind of song or your kind of music, you can go out and, with your family, you can find a version of the 23rd Psalm that is sung in lots of different ways. So find one that you like. Or if you don't find one that you like, maybe come up with your own tune for it, so that you can connect with this psalm in the same way that so many people have throughout centuries now of learning the 23rd Psalm and letting it speak to them and remind them that God is a good shepherd for us, just like he was for David. All right, that's all the time we have for this week's activity. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. And I look forward to seeing you next week when we'll start a new unit. All right. Until then, take care of yourselves. Bye for now.